Doesn't look like anybody's gonna get on today. That's cool, Fred. Where are you located, Fred? Hey, Tiff. How are you doing? I hope you get over your cold. Yeah, I'm doing all right. Just kind of chilling, making a lazy day, basically. No, not really. I was actually fixing to end the live before you come on because wasn't a lot going on. Been sitting here for 10 minutes with nobody coming on. I've been sitting here eating my pretzel. I was going to, Tiff, but my spouse ended up leaving pretty late, so I didn't know how late everybody would be on. You know what I mean? Because that after night show, they went on pretty long. Thank you, Gina. Excuse me. So far, so good today, Gina. You doing well? Ah, I seen the notification pop up. Thank you. Yeah, that and Gina, you could have been subscribed, but what Aaron was saying is that a lot of people, for some reason, some of their accounts get unsubscribed from different accounts for just out of the blue. I don't know, Tiff. Last night, everything seemed to kind of run in together. It was like one after the other, one after the other, after the other. But finally, I was like, dang it, I'm just gonna eat, help my spouse get ready, get them out the door, go to work. And I think it was finally midnight by all that. And y'all already know that if I don't go ahead and go to bed then I will get up. I will stay on the computer and I will be here for hours. It's my pitfall. I dive deep off into the never ending of YouTube. Okay, no problem, Tiff. Just let me know. Oh, just so you know though, this week and next week we can't do our Tuesday idea because I'll be in nesting for work. But after that we can. So in 3 weeks. Okay. Have a good day, Tip 45. This I have Bolo watching. Who's all in here? Oh, it's just me, Gina, and Tiff. Okay. Yeah, Gina, I would definitely check your other channels as well. Make sure you're subscribed to other stuff. I had to go through and make sure last night because I wasn't subscribed to Reese. I wasn't subscribed to. Oh, the Never Ends, like any of the Never Ends. Chad, Denver, Marilyn, and Juliana. And I was subscribed to them. Still had to go back and resubscribe. Yeah, I would just check. I mean, it doesn't hurt just to quickly check, but yes, Juliana's doing content now. She's Juliana, the Scientologist. Yep, she has her own channel. Which you coming on, it moved me up to 53 subscribers. So I'm on my way. Yeah, last night she was saying she had her channel and that the only thing that's going to change for her is that the Monday nights thing she'll have to back off of. She'll still do the Saturdays and I think the Friday nights, but not the Monday nights. Oh, we get it. Summertime's a time to travel and to have fun and do fun things and then once that fall time comes around, school starts and it's back to getting to that daily grind routine. That's good. You can come get mine in order too. Texas. Yep. I am just east of Dallas. Yep. Yep, east of Dallas. Yep. Where it's too damn gum hot to do anything. It is 113-degree days. Which, if I'm thinking right, this last little cold front to come through was supposed to bring it down a smidge, not a whole lot. Let's see. Let's see. What is today? Right now, let's see. That was 11:13 this morning. 11:13 this morning was 89, and right now it is 99. 11:51 in the afternoon. See, I would say I'm bracing for hoodie weather, but usually when I'm inside my house, I have a hoodie on just because I have Raynaud's, so I get cold very easy. Yeah, see, it's supposed to hit 100 at 5 and then start going back down. Highest all week is supposed to be 106 on Friday. Fun stuff. Right? What's sad is I have all the animals around me too. Well, except for the big dog. And my big dog's on a cool mat by the door. But I have the two cats right here beside me, and my little dog is on the footstool. Or actually, I think he's in the hammock. Or not the hammock, the hamper. Let's see. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Um, I do wish I was supported a little bit more by others, but I mean, it's fine. It is what it is. And I'll get there. I'll get there eventually. So at 53, who knows? Here in a couple more months, maybe I'll be up to 100 because I know you need 504,000 watch hours to be monetized. And I've got 53 subscribers, and I did hit 1,000 watch hours. So I'm doing good there. So I'm doing pretty decent with watch hours steadily. But the subscribers is where I'm mostly needed right now. Yeah, yeah, I'm glad. And it's because I've done so many with Chad. Chad's helped me a lot. But that's about the only advantage I've had so far is just being able to start out and doing lives pretty much immediately. And of course, I went ahead and paid up front for StreamYard as well. That's the difference, Gina. I don't mind doing it for YouTube. If it was for work, I would throw a hissy fit. Because, like, right here, YouTube, I can be sluggish, looking like a mess, and most people don't judge and don't care. For work, they want you to be prim and proper and, you know, all that snazzy stuff, and I'm just not going to do that. Yeah. And thankfully, hey, Michelle. Um, for work, though, most of the time, unless it's going to be like a big one to like you have to impress people at, like they know that we're all PJs all day. So they don't care. I made a video for Mike. Yeah, I did too. Oh, I guess, are you on StreamYard? No? Hi. What, Brat? Come here. You're staying just out of the picture. Are you going? Are you using my wife as a bridge again? You're eating a Pierce of pizza? I hope it's not a Pierce. Yeah, we'll come to find out. I love Michelle and I make fun of her all the time. And she knows it. It's fine, I promise y'all. I baked it in an air fryer with no oil and crispy. Okay, whatever, you made your point, Michelle. I ate my hash browns just fine. So blah blah blah. I hear DC snoring. Little fart got over there on top of my basket of clean clothes is laying on it. Well, I should say sleeping on it. Everybody, Michelle. Everybody. Oh, is that where everybody's at? Marketing Fantasy Channel. Let's see. use of tubes. Actually, I'll do it this way. Get off there. I'm not banning you, Michelle. Jeez. Oh. I was actually gonna do.
Group, which
Yeah. Actually, there's two that's live right now. Janice and what's his name? Mark and Aaron for Growing Up in Scientology. Jeez.
But our closeness as friends, our connection, is deeper in the virtual world than it ever could have been in real life when we were in Scientology. So and that's true for a lot of people that I've been in. It's an incredible community. It's helped on a great many levels. The only bad thing I have to say about it is that it's interfered with me finishing my book because it's so engaging. But I'm plugging away. So if I disappear, if I go offline for a little
Hey,
bit,
Janice changed where she's
I'll put updates on the
put her
channel.
office.
And so here we are.
I'll have to admit, it's been.
I was thinking about.
I do too, Gina.
Because I haven't even touched my third book since I started this.
Yeah, but okay, fine. Your third book. That doesn't make me better than you.
Yeah, but they bring a lot of stuff that others don't. Like, they have a lot more pictures and stuff.
Go, Janice. Go.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was thinking actually about it while I was driving today about.
Oh, is that all she did?
Book idea for myself, and it's not going to be basically like a time frame form event biography. But I'm thinking about doing short stories about different short stories that things that happened to me through my life in Scientology.
That's a great idea.
And each chapter would just be a short story. You know what I mean?
I'm telling you, Mark, it's a great idea.
Yeah, so I'm
do
thinking
it.
about doing that.
Don't even think about the timeline of it. Like, you got to get it in order. It can be all out of order. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I did a similar thing.
She does.
Said, you know what? This isn't a memoir. It's a series of essays, right?
Yeah.
And then as they went along, I'm like, no, this is more interesting if it's told first. So it starts to fall into chronological shape. But you should do it because it's just, you just concentrate on that one moment at a time, and you have such great stories to tell. And if anybody thinks they've read one book by an ex-Scientologist, they've read them all. And I've read them all. Janice, I've read your books. I'm already imagining your book in my mind, Mark. And I'm telling you, every single one of them is full of surprises. And, there's a sameness to them all, but there's also this incredible variety, because we recapture our individuality and our identity after we leave Scientology, and people, when they express it in a book, it can be joyful. I'm just now reading.
Gina, are you on the channel?
Which I really enjoy. And I'm going to do I'll do a stream with her about the book. I really want to talk to her about it online.
Yeah, what I was thinking.
Juliana. She's so funny.
Yeah, I was thinking about it today. That basically it's easier.
You see what she put? I said, "Hi, all watching from my live." She said, "Brandy, liveception."
Right.
I have stories not just from when I was in Scientology. I have stories since I left Scientology that people may find interesting. I mean, for the longest time, I thought, well, I'm telling my stories on the channel. Then I thought, I could actually write some things that I wouldn't necessarily, put on the channel. And I think that people, maybe they'll find them interesting. We'll see.
Well, also, Mark, you can tell a story on your channel, and then you can write the same story. And people who've seen it on the channel, when they read it, they'll say, "Oh, this is good. I know about this," because there's always going to be additional insight. And written words are like architecture. It's different seeing the building than just hearing about the building.
Does the little star mean that Juliana's the
from just before when you were
the mod for that?
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't. Listen, let me say.
Oh, are you cool?
officially here on YouTube. I can't wait for your book, Mark.
Okay. I better get cracking.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to, Janice and I are gonna have to, put in that 25th hour
Oh,
Yeah, exactly. Well, you're ex-Seward. You'll find it.
That's
a
right.
day. Yeah,
If anybody knows how to find an extra hour in the day, it's a Seward thing.
yeah, exactly. Okay, great. Well, we'll go ahead and get started with your story. We're going to talk about how, Mitch, you got involved in Scientology. I guess was it in the 1970s early?
It was, yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I got into Scientology in 1973. Prior to that, I never heard of it. Literally, I never heard of Scientology. I didn't know anybody that was involved in it. I grew up in a place in West Hollywood, kind of a well-known place. There've been books written about it. A place called Laurel Canyon, which was
well, Scientology
very
didn't start
wonderful
too
called
long before
Laurel
that.
Canyon, the America's something most, I don't know, notorious rock and roll neighborhood. It was the place out of which the music scene in Southern California, the Byrds and Crosby, Stills and Nash and the Doors and all these people, it's where they all sprung out of, and a ton of other stuff. And so I was fortunate enough or unfortunate enough to have grown up there, come of age there. It was also the center of all of our experimentation with drugs, and which also included heroin, which kind of had to do with the Vietnam War because there was a lot of heroin being brought in from Vietnam, and it was also a good way to get out of the drafts. Was to do a lot of heroin,
Yeah.
So, I was a drug draft dodger, but anyway, unfortunately I ended up with addicted to heroin when I was, just out of high school, and I was studying at California Institute of the Arts, which is a noted professional art school. I was in the film department, but I had dropped out because I was really struggling with this addiction thing, and I was in and out of it. And so I went through a rehab somewhere in the San Bernardino Valley. I just went to.
Yeah, I do. I still talk to him every now and then. He's working and
back in school. I dropped out. And I couldn't
between
stay out for too long.
working and dealing with Izzy and everything, he's not been on much online himself. I know he did a few
And
videos.
so while I was in this rehab, I don't know how to say this, or it doesn't sound silly, but I was cast by a production company, or I was called into a production company. They were looking for young, maybe let's say camera ready kids. There was a director by the name Floyd Mutrux, and there he is, there's Floyd, and he'd done a couple of other films. He was mostly a writer and a sort of a producer, and most of his credits are, he did some stories for noted films like Dick Tracy, Mulholland Falls, and some other things. And so Floyd he had this idea to do this film called Dusty and Sweets McGee, and I just have to say I hadn't spoken about this for a long time because it was sort of in the past, and it was something I was just done with. And Scientology doesn't like you. In Scientology, I just have to say before we go on, you're forbidden from talking about what they call your case. Now, I don't know if your viewers know what your case is, but I think you could probably explain that pretty well, Mark.
Well, basically, your case is all of your bad experiences in your reactive mind that you attack in Dianetics to get rid of and become clear. And then it's also your different experiences on what we call your time track, which is basically you live for billions of years and something may have happened to you past life or whatever, and that's all included when you do your processing and you get auditing. That's what you're addressing.
No, Gina, it's actually on my TV.
Yeah, that's your case.
So I have the
And
app
that
going,
is
and
the
I threw it
thing
from my
you are
phone to the
addressing
TV.
in Scientology. And you are forbidden, as a person receiving services, to discuss your case with anyone other than an auditor, who will then also discuss it with other people, like the case supervisor and God knows who else over the dinner table. But even though they say it's confidential.
It wasn't supposed to be that way, but
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay,
So,
Michelle.
all of this stuff that I'm telling you, what evidence I told you, this would come under the rubric of your case. So you never talked about it. You didn't talk about it. And
Michelle,
so
does Simon know
it's
this?
actually one of the ways in which Scientology keeps people isolated and separated, because talking about it, like I'm doing with you here guys now,
She's pulling your
it
leg,
helps
Gina.
other people to heal. It helps you to heal. It helps to form connections. And Scientology
Oh,
can't tolerate any of this
okay.
stuff, so they're like,
And it lets you play
you're
any
not
like
allowed to
YouTube?
talk to anybody about your case. And I didn't realize that until very recently, what a destructive thing that is. So let me get back to talking about my case, shall we?
Okay.
So, anyway, so I was essentially, 22-year-old, broken, drug addicted, film school dropout.
Huh.
Who'd
Cool.
never heard of Scientology. And
But
I
if
had a
it has the
girlfriend who,
video, can you still play it and
very,
just do the
very
sound?
attached to, and she was
Like all of ours,
simultaneously
you know what
also
I'm
doing
saying?
drugs. We kind of became sort of addicted together. So I get this call. The guy who ran the rehab, he gets this call one day from a production company in Studio City, and they're looking for kids. They're trying to cast young people to do a sort of a,
Yeah, because
we have a
there's
term in film,
dodo
cinema verite. I
heads.
don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's a French term. It just means truth in film. And it's a kind of was a movement, a sort of a quasi documentary movement where
Right.
it was, yeah, you guys.
Oh, hey, Mark.
So Floyd was trying to do the cinema verite, drug-soaked version of American Graffiti. It was kind of like,
let's do an
Panic at Needle
experiment
Park
then
versus
tonight,
Meat,
Gina.
you
Do
know,
one of my
and,
long videos and
American
see if
Graffiti
that
with a
helps
lot of
my
really
hours.
groovy rock and roll
I'll
stuff.
do a watch hour thing. Like,
So,
let me go to my page
we
right
met-
now.
So I grabbed my girlfriend because they said, hey, they're looking for a couple, a young couple. So I grabbed her. They drove us out to the production office. And we were just like cast immediately in the lead roles. I mean, it wasn't even a question. We walked in, they talked to us and said, yeah, you're going to be Dusty and Sweet.
Yeah, I'll go to my page.
It was an
I'll load it up
ensemble
and
piece,
see
meaning
what
our
my
focus
hours
was
are
on
now,
better than the others. And I mean,
Is this
and
it here?
then we'll experiment with
yeah,
it.
that's it. There's me. If you look in the bottom row, I would be second from the left.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, in the black shirt with the really 70s mustache. Yeah, so back when I had hair, that's the cover of the DVD. I guess from a later issue. That was my girlfriend who tragically, a few months after the film was released. And yeah, that's me, believe it or not. That's me. I was 22 years old. That was a production still. My kids were pretty shocked when they found these pictures on the internet. So
You look like you're a member of the Eagles.
Yeah.
something. I mean, no, I think the Eagles saw this picture and then they decided to look like me because I don't think the Eagles were around when this picture was taken. So anyway,
That's how you look without the mustache when I first met you.
yeah, I didn't have that mustache very long. I don't know why I had it.
Yes, it'll be
Honestly,
late sleeping with Brandy.
Yeah, I had it for just this period of maybe a couple of years. But, you know,
What year was this about? Do you know?
yeah, 1972.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So as of right now, I've got 130.7
Anyway,
watch hours
So anyway, that was that. So then I was.
and
we
53
got cast to do the
subscribers.
film. We were in the film with a number of other people. A couple of them were actors, like Billy Gray, who was Father's Day's Best, who played like a drug dealer. And
I
there
think
was a
it
young
has to
couple
be you
who were also
can,
actors. And
but
everybody
it has
else
to be a
was just
certain
kind of-
amount
the
of
one guy was an ex-con,
like days
great
in
guy.
between,
And
and it has to
Mark
be
Headley's in the house and
like
he says,
that
"Holy
full
moly."
video time. It can't just be like 3 minutes
Yeah,
kind of
there's a
thing.
lot you don't know about anymore. But, and I'm sure that goes 2 ways.
There it is again for anybody who may have missed it.
Yeah, that's the holy moly shot. We need to turn that into a meme. It just says holy moly. Yeah, that was me in my actor days. Well, I mean, I don't know who took the photo, but we had a professional photographer on the set. I mean, the film was photographed by William Fraker, who was considered,
Oh, yeah.
the greatest cinematographer.
Renowned, yeah, cinematographer.
Yeah, I mean, he's considered the greatest cinematographer who ever lived, who did not win an Oscar. He's no longer with us. Billy was a great guy. I was really lucky to work with him. Yeah, I mean, the guy who did the sound, William Randall, had won an Oscar for In Cold Blood. So it was a very legitimate film. It was
Woohoo, we
legitimate,
got
but
up to
it was
5
kind
people
of
in here now. Doing good.
very, very underground. I mean, I do not know where they got the money to make it. It was a very low budget. They didn't pay us very much. And I remember it was the first time that I ever was taken to lunch or at all. There's a restaurant, a very famous restaurant on Hollywood Boulevard called Musso and Frank's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and they've been around since 1917. Very storied restaurant. I could do a whole hour on stories about Musso and Frank's. But the first time I ever ate there was with Floyd and the crew. And then, later I found out that the production manager had paid for a meal with like a forged credit card. Like they were doing all kinds of things to save money. Like take us to one of the most expensive restaurants in Hollywood and then pay it with a fake credit card.
I think Blown for Good, Mark Headley would say, hey, that's the gold way. That's how they did it.
Yeah, so this is where I
Hey,
got.
we need gas. We need gas to go to the shoot. Well, we'll dig around and see what we can find in the couch.
Yeah, so it was a little like a Steelers shoot, except we didn't get in trouble for doing drugs or having sex with each other. But fortunately, but anyway, so yeah, it was an amazing experience because think about this. I'm a film. I dropped out of film school, like one of the most expensive colleges in America, and I dropped out of that. I'm addicted to heroin, and then I get cast to play an actor, play a part in a film as an heroin addict. Right? So it's weird. Like, what am I here? Am I a filmmaker? Am I a junkie? Or like, what is it? So as a film student, it was a great experience. As a person recovering from drugs, it was the worst possible place to be. And then to try to maintain the authenticity, the cinema verite authenticity, the makers of the film made up a lot of stories. Like, they made up this. They used our real names, Beverly and Mitch, and tried to say that was really us, and they were just following us around with a camera, which we were completely under their direction. Right? We did a lot of ad-lib scenes based on a framework, but they presented it as though they were somehow following us, like as a documentary. And then at the credits at the end, it was like, it was like we got divorced. I moved to Oregon. It was just made all this shit up, and I was pretty disappointed about that. I mean, even though I remained friends with Lloyd for years, and the film, it was the top grossing film for 2 weeks in the summer of '72, and I had gotten a small job as a production assistant on a film that Peter Fonda was directing, a little independent film, and I had to come, and I wasn't in town when Dusty Suzuki opened, and then I had to come to LA as a production assistant to pick up some paperwork or whatever, and fly back to Idaho where we were on location. And I lived in West Hollywood, and I was driving down the Sunset Strip, and there was this billboard, it was like this massive billboard with She and I, and the title of the film, and I was like, I'd grown up, hanging out on the Sunset Strip. I mean, I used to sneak into the whiskey and see the Doors when I was 15. I snuck into Ciro's, and I saw the Byrds play with Bob Dylan. So I'm standing here staring at this billboard. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Anyway, so tragically, my girlfriend, died of an overdose on December 17th, 1972. The film opened up in July. And yeah, that's her there. And I'll tell you I think by the end of that year, I mean,
Warner Brothers
who
made the movie, and even in
died of overdose.
they ain't known as Warner Brothers anymore. They got bought out, right?
A little bit of a strange connection, but so I was having dinner with Lloyd one night, and he was with this girl, who was his girlfriend, and she had just recently introduced him to Celebrity Center, and unbeknownst to me, because he wasn't a Scientologist when we were working together, he'd gotten into Scientology, and he was, somewhat of a celebrity at Celebrity Center. He was close with with your mom. They knew one another very well, and he was a bit of a fixture. I mean, he and Milton Casellas, they were like the two actor dudes, but Floyd didn't teach acting, but he was associated with a number of noted films. He made some other films that were really popular. He did a film called Aloha Bobby and Rose that he directed.
Let me show those, okay? I'm just gonna
go ahead.
Have them here in a second here. Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, if you're wondering about his career, this is actually a really interesting film. He was sort of in this Jean-Luc Godard, kind of Truffaut-ish, sort of French New Wave, but with a kind of very LA twist.
Am I losing
Yeah.
people?
Mitch, I'm going to comment here. They don't make films like they did in the 70s anymore. I mean, the 70s was like a real golden age, really.
Yeah,
Cinema,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, and we saw the emergence of, for the 70s, we saw the emergence of,
Martin Scorsese.
a new generation.
I've lost it.
Yeah, there's a book. It's called Raging Bulls, and I can't remember the name of it. There's a wonderful, wonderful book about the emergence of that generation of filmmakers.
I've read it. I know which book you're talking
Yeah,
about.
what's it called? Raging Bulls and something else.
And something else. Yeah, I can't remember either, but it was great. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really bugging me now. I can't go on. No, but anyway, yeah, it was a really amazing time. And I met a lot of other people having nothing to do with Floyd, but a lot of people in that circle. It was probably the most formative time in American cinema. I mean, you had, The Godfather, some amazing work that came out of that period. And that was also the emergence of the first generation of film school directors, who'd actually studied filmmaking in college. The first one being John Milius. People don't really realize, but we're kind of off into the weeds of it. John Milius was the first film school graduate who actually made a film. I'm not sure what it was. It might have been Big Wednesday, which I recommend. And remember, Lee Purcell co-starred in that. Remember, she was a Scientologist. Yeah, she was actually really good in it. But she was like the emotional center of the film. I'd seen it not.
Here's the title. Denver Steve-O has the title. Easy
Riders, Raging Bulls.
Yeah. The rock and roll generation saved Hollywood.
Yeah, there you go. I highly recommend it. And Dustin Switch McGee and Floyd Mitchell's work was kind of in that school. I mean, and I've also worked for Peter Fonda. I don't want to get into all that.
Oh, okay.
When I was in college as a production assistant, real lowest Bruce Fonda. I worked with him, and I worked with what's his name? Laszlo Kovacs. Not Laszlo Kovacs. There was a second unit.
Said 5 were watching. Mark, do I still have you here?
I later did work with Laszlo Kovacs, who shot a lot of his films when I was in commercials. So I was kind of lucky to be a bit, an eyewitness and somewhat involved, at least in certain characters. So back to the story. I was pretty wrecked after the death of my girlfriend, and Floyd thought Celebrity Center could possibly help me. So he brought me in there and he introduced me to the folks. My dog, can you give me a second? I gotta let my dog out.
Yeah, sure. No problem. Hey, Denver Steve-O, thanks for that shout out on the book title. We appreciate it. We want to also thank all the other Goldies in here in the chat. Thanks, Goldie. And thanks to our other members and all you subscribers that are watching. And here comes Mitch back again.
That's why they call it live. He just gave me that look like, if you don't open the door, I'm going to poop on your foot. So, so then there it is. I'll never forget that place. And, Alvarado.
Hello?
Hey,
I
this is not good. Everybody's watching the TV. This is now live.
Yeah, it's a live within a live.
I need to have coffee and whatever else. So yeah, that was it. I went on course
You look terrible.
Actually, I kind of for course never came back. And then about a week later.
Oh, that's not good.
The NLO, the medical liaison.
Did what?
That's not good.
The staff, because they don't have.
What are we going to discuss today?
Without going through this office, right? And so she shut me down. Actually,
what are we gonna what?
Do we need to be serious?
And she busted me out of the hospital.
Why?
And it sounds like a kidnapping, but it wasn't, because I didn't want to stick with that. So, anyway, and then she said, "You're going to come live with us." This was the amazing part. I don't know. I think I told you about this. She said, "You're going to come live with us."
What are we going to discuss?
Oh, what are we
Yeah,
going to
my father was
discuss?
paying the
I don't know.
$250 a week and maybe $100.
Do you want some hummus?
You know, today you won't get
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Hummus is good though. Why don't you like it?
But you're going to need to get the hell out of here because we don't want people.
No
to
hummus.
Or whatever.
It's
but
essential.
I kind of lucked into this very special bubble that was really
No, I'm good.
existed as a result of your mom, Janice. I mean, you know that. We've talked about it.
Here she is right here.
Yeah, she's
This
just
is Janice's mother.
beloved character in Scientology by so many people. And through her idealism and the goodness of her heart, it neutralized all of the negative stuff in Scientology. The veneer of Scientology. So for this very short period of time.
Oh, sorry, Gina. I forgot a G in your name.
Oh, I thought you. I thought it said welcome back in the.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it says welcome back in. Don't even start, Brandy. Don't even start.
You did it. It is literally your fault.
I don't remember what job. He took her out of something center. He was too successful. He couldn't have that.
Yeah. The Guardian's office had sent out false reports on her, which resulted in Hubbard ordering to be evaluated to get her replaced. And then he set up, had her set up the PRO with no financial backup or anything.
Nothing is ever my fault.
It was a big loss to her because she'd built CC up to like over 200 staff at the time.
Yeah, from nothing. From literally
Yeah, from nothing. And now
It was an ideal.
Brandy has not been sending me sweet nothings, and I'm getting very upset.
It looked like shit. Like the carpet.
Oh, poor
I need,
thing.
I need Simon's phone number because I need to propose.
I tried texting Simon, actually. He didn't answer. I think he's asleep.
Yeah, it looked like, and the people had gone to like flea markets and thrift shops and bought things and decorated the place.
Yeah.
Like this great hippie pad.
But she did upgrade it when they moved her over to the player. That
Oh
was-
yeah, absolutely. No, the intention, yeah.
Yeah, but
So-
you know that was what.
She,
Go ahead.
she found the manna for Celebrity Center and it
I
was
like Dad.
taken from her and made into something
Wow.
else. But
This
she-
is gross as all get up. Do not get smart water, cucumber, lime. It's disgusting.
You don't have to have nice
Like
premises.
freaking puke water.
And deliver, and that, and you know, the scavenge then took it to the nth degree where they have to do Taj Mahal.
Yeah.
You can have anybody in there to get services. You know.
Yeah, because back in those days, when your mom was running the show, Janice.
Brandy, do you know what this is?
Why are we staring into a frozen bottle of water?
Whatever it was.
No, it's gross. It's cucumber lime. It's so disgusting.
People didn't go home. They stayed.
They wanted to hang out, right?
Yeah, and there was
Oh.
poetry readings, there was acting, there was improv, there were musical performances. The people, it was amazing. It was like, so for me, I was like, wow, I found a community. I found some.
I think you're on delay.
You know, truth be told, like two things. One,
Is your internet slow today, Brandy?
lost.
Is my what?
Is your internet slow? Your Wi-Fi?
Somehow we could go through some reformation. with
Yeah.
something like that. That's never gonna
Okay,
happen.
because you're on a big delay.
There was a bubble. It was based on this one woman's.
Oh,
ideas
I'm,
of
like,
her love and care of artists.
10 feet away from my
And
Wi-Fi.
even then, they just crushed her.
Yeah, me
spirit.
too. But I don't know.
Put her in such a position that I'm sure that it led to her passing. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm like
I can hear your TV in the background, like
period. of-
live, but I think when you talk, it's like
That ain't happening.
For you.
within a minute before I hear it.
Rich, do you remember the event she hosted with the painted seagulls dress?
No, remember.
So there's a delay on the
not,
screen.
as you say in psychology, in present time. I was-
And I'm in Streamline. I'm not on YouTube.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe I'll remember.
And that should be StreamYard should be faster. Like I should get it real time.
You fall out of your chair doing drills and pass out
Yeah.
in a puddle of sweat because I was like joint from heroin, and I was on the classroom with everybody else. But I'm telling you, the other thing I wanted to say, other than the fact that there's no going back to some.
I don't know why there'd be a delay on StreamYard.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Your stupid WoW internet.
The success I had getting up, it had something to do with Scientology.
Not sponsored.
Love of touring and how that reflected in the carrying on the stuff. And it had to do with the fact that I was ready to do it.
This has pine nuts in it. So good. You don't like pine nuts?
Was involved in it
No.
long enough so I could regain some power. And that's where it happened. But there's nothing in Scientology technology that can do that. There's nothing.
You like garbanzo beans in your salad?
Successful American lives.
No.
They just got
Neither do I. See, I don't like garbanzo beans alone. But I think with all the garlic in here,
I've
so
never
good.
spoken out as a survivor of addiction, and I realized.
See, I don't. The only kind of beans that I usually will eat is refried beans, and that's it.
Oh, I love refried.
Working their lives and they can't stop doing. There is so much hope for you out there, and anyway, so.
Yeah, but do you get the refried beans that are packed with lard?
Yeah,
And then this is the house.
I don't know.
yeah, that was the staff.
That's what most restaurants use.
And you know, somebody told me, oh, Charlie
I
Chaplin
get the vegetarian beans, girl. I don't want no lard.
in the neighborhood.
I have enough lard in my face.
Later. But
Where was
yeah,
this at?
this was on, what's the name of the street? Do you remember, Joanna?
Lake Street, Lake Street.
Lake Street, yeah. So this was about 4 blocks from Celebrity Center. I think, about. It's about a 10-minute walk. I know, 'cause I did it twice a day for 6 weeks. It's a big house. And every space in that house that had a door you could close was turned into a bedroom with, like a dorm. Except for the living room, obviously the kitchen. I think there was another room.
Oh, something's being weird.
Common spaces.
1 second.
Everything was sleeping quarters, and then it had this massive basement, which was the dining
Okay.
room.
I bet I'm not gonna have a delay now because it just did something.
See that little dormer room there up in the top?
I don't know.
That was,
I had to like.
Well, I've been on it for an hour. Let's go ahead and we'll close out this video.
yeah.
I'll call
Okay.
it.
Alright.
Yeah, after Lake Street, they got the roof on it.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that they were a male-female couple, right?